So I'm gonna try something a little bit different with Castor, not necessarily different thing that no one's ever done, but different for him. So I've been trailer loading him by getting inside the trailer and then I'm under the divider on the other side and then I can guide him into the trailer. So I want to work on him going in by himself and I stay on the outside and he already understands behavior, so that'll help me out a little bit. I definitely should have had a longer target because I have a little short one and that's not going to help him follow it in while I stay on the outside. But he does need some work on standing outside. Like every time I say that about um, his trailer loading, every time that I do a video about it, I say that. So here I should have worked on just him standing here before I asked him to go in. Here he's just confused. Like I'm asking him to go in and he's like, yeah, doesn't make sense. And then there we go. He understands. Because the last couple times I was trying to feed him while he was halfway in the trailer like this from this position, and he kept coming down because he didn't understand he needed to stay there. So you have to make sure your horse's body is over to that right hand side of the trailer from this viewing position, because then he can turn his head all the way to the left and get his treat. If he's too far to the left, he's not going to be able to turn because the wall is going to be in the way, and he might be a little worried about that. So just make sure that they're all the way over. I don't know what's worrying him here, but it's probably someone walking behind, or I don't know. It's a blind spot for horses. So that's why horses get worried in the trailer. They can't really see. I'm not going to worry about that too much, but this is good right here where he's standing outside the trailer, just munching on his treats, not trying, like, kind of try to get in there. This is nice. So I should click and reinforced him before I asked him to go in here. Because again, at this time, I was still way too focused on just going in and not just waiting. So at the gate and waiting for me. But he did figure this out quite readily, like pretty easy. So not too bad with that. And I like him coming out of the trailer with me outside. So I do want him to load with both ways. So if I want to climb in and then ask him to come in, or I want him to go in while I'm on the outside. So I want both. Both important. So, because eventually I'll probably just load him from this angle, because then I don't have to go in and then, yeah, I wouldn't have to go out the front door. So this is probably the way he's gonna end up. So I should be clicking and feeding a lot more here. So again, like I say in my other videos, and if you watched the one previously where I'm lunging him with the long target, he needs to practice a opposite behavior, and that's standing at the gate here, and I need to reinforce him for that. So I should have been clicking and feeding the whole time for him staying there. He's practicing it better with me out here. So I think that's part of why I have that problem, is I'm inside with the reinforcement, and that is the goal, to get the horse in the trailer. So that's why he wants to get in. Castor does the same thing. They're like, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. And then they don't want to wait for me at the door. So I'm going to make a video of how I fix that, because these are all my older videos and kind of the process that I did to teach these horses the things. And there's good and bad, and you can learn from both of those things. But this will probably be his last trailer loading video from the past, I guess, as I voice this over. And then we'll be doing some new ones and fixing some problems and just progressing. So I'm happy with that, where he's going in just off of my target cue while I stand out here, and then he stays halfway in for me. And then eventually he'll do that while he's all the way in. And I'll start using a stationary target too, because that's gonna be a lot easier for him, and definitely using a longer target will help as well. So, but yeah, he needs to work on a lot of standing still, waiting to get in, waiting to even come forward because he wants to come forward all the time, and then I have to back him up. So I should have him like there and be reinforcing there, and then ask him to come forward and then reinforcing for staying still. Because the going forward part is pretty reinforcing for him at this point. So I need to do probably 75% staying still and then 25% getting in the trailer at this point. I probably will have to change that ratio later on once he's a little bit more balanced. This is really good right here. I'm really liking this, and he should have kept feeding that. But I mean, um, asking him or cueing him for another behavior that I'm going to reward, that is good too. Like now, I would have rewarded him for the standing out, but this is pretty nice too. So he did catch on to this pretty quickly, so I'm happy with that, and kind of just shows that you can teach trailer loading with positive reinforcement and targets. It's much easier. It's a lot less stressful on the horses, and these videos aren't perfect, but it's a cool little like thing of our journey. So